Happening now, the latest on a serious vehicle crash in Chautauqua County. And we have more on an alleged assault of a Jamestown police officers, a look at charges just filed. Plus, everything you need to know about the 2022 election as we're breaking down the voting process and hearing from candidates making their final pitches.
Live and on demand, this is WNY News Now.
Over 9,000 ballots have been collected so far here in Chautauqua County as part of the midterm elections. Thank you for joining us for WNY News Now. I'm Justin Gould. The Board of Election Commissioners Luz Torres and Brian Abram released the statistics today. Voters had 4 locations countywide to take part in early voting, which kicked off back on Saturday, October 29th and spanned 9 days. During that time, over 7,000 early votes were tabbed, marking the second highest early voting turnout in Chautauqua County ever. In addition to early votes, our local election officials so far received 2,200 absentee ballots. Those ballots can be hand-delivered to an election site, drop box, the Board of Elections office in Mayville, or sent via U.S. mail.
As long as it's postmarked election day, it would be considered timely. So you have all the way up till Tuesday on the 8th, up until your post office closes, to get it stamped in, if you will, with a something from the United States Postal Service saying that you actually did take care of it. So yeah, there's still some time. I would recommend that if you have it in front of you, to get it out of the way and get it accomplished.
Now, on Election Day itself, poll sites will be open from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Those who already cast a ballot early or returned their absentee ballot cannot vote twice. Well, a final push is underway to rally votes ahead of Election Day here in Chautauqua County. For those running for the area state assembly seat, it's full steam ahead to hear directly from voters. Bronson Rasmussen joining us live in the newsroom now with more on this crucial assembly race. Bronson?
Justin, the 2 candidates for New York State's 150th Assembly District, current Republican Assemblyman Andrew Goodell and Democrat challenger Sandra Lewis, are facing off for your vote at the polls.
Well, I've been focusing throughout the campaign on addressing inflation and the impact on our families, the concern about rising crime rates across New York State, our economic development efforts and more jobs. So I've been focusing on those themes throughout the campaign, and I think those themes are really resonating with people.
Lewis outlines different priorities.
Things that I feel are important are affordable housing, economic development, and mental health accessibility. More important, I think that I would love to work on issues that the people have on their plate. We can always think about the things that we see around here, but I want people to know that I am on your dime.
Assemblyman Goodell, meanwhile, feels that his 12 years of experience in Albany is a key asset.
I spoke more words on the floor of the Assembly than any other assemblyman, in part because of my role as a floor leader. But when I say I'm your voice in Albany, I really am your voice in Albany, and people know exactly what our residents are thinking about, what's important to them, and what legislation will do, what kind of impact it will have on Chautauqua County.
Lewis, however, believes that her experience within the community will outpace her opponent.
I am new at this, but with anything new, I bring a plethora of experiences working in the public sector for over 30 plus years and working in the community as well. So step out on faith and let's do this together.
Once the election is over, no matter what, Lewis will continue her work within the community, and Goodell tells us that he'll spend the following days picking up all of his and his fellow Republicans' campaign signs across the region. In the end, both candidates tell us that they are going to carry their district's beliefs into Albany and to get out there and vote come Election Day. Live in the newsroom, Bronson Rasmussen, WNY News Now.
All right, Bronson, thank you very much. And continuing our coverage, the 2022 midterm elections could pave the way for a busy session of Congress this fall. That's according to Congressman Joe Sempolenski, who spoke about the upcoming lame duck congressional session during a town hall meeting in Frewsburg on Saturday. Now, if Republicans win the U.S. House of Representatives, Speaker Nancy Pelosi will likely waste no time in trying to pass her agenda ahead of the January majority change. As for his priorities, the outgoing representative tells us he'll be fighting to extend an assistive technology bill, which would help fund programs for those with disabilities.
Technology is a little bit of a misnomer because you think computers or that sort of thing. It could be something as simple as a walker. And if that's what it takes for you to now be self-sufficient, for now to finish school, to get a job, well, you just dramatically transformed somebody with a disability's life.
Over the past month, Sempolenski set out on a 11-stop tour around the 23rd Congressional District, which was reshaped during the summer redistricting process. While Sempolenski will only be in office until the new Congress is elected and sworn in January, he says it's important to highlight what's on the mind of those across the region. And with Election Day upon us, today we're taking a closer look at voting rights. New York State Capitol correspondent Elise Klein spoke to the League of Women Voters and the New York Civil Liberties Union about what voters should know about their rights ahead of Election Day.
The League of Women Voters stresses the importance of voters casting their ballots and understanding their constitutional rights.
A democracy does not work unless every single person within that democracy is given the right to let their voice be heard.
Under New York State election law, voters have a list of rights, including taking paid time off from work to vote, voting free from harassment or intimidation, voting without an ID, taking what are called challenge oaths, and more. New York State election law also protects accessibility and individuals with special circumstances, like individuals who have disabilities, are homeless, were criminally convicted, or are survivors of domestic violence. Smicka says access is one of the most important pieces of New York State's election law. She says some voters have to overcome a great deal of challenges just to physically get to the polls.
Voters have already done enough by the time they get to the polls. So it is so important that you do cast your ballot once you get there.
Perry Grossman from the New York Civil Liberties Union highlights that accessibility voting rights are important for voters with disabilities and for voters whose first language is not English. He says some counties have ballots printed in other languages, and it is within a voter's right to bring a person with them if they need physical assistance or language assistance, as long as that person is not their union rep or employer. Grossman also explains that election laws, in a practical sense, give voters the right to go into the polls well-informed, unintimidated, uninterfered with, and to make sure you receive all the assistance you need, but in a larger sense, they can also do a lot more.
Voting rights are your right as a citizen of this state to hold your elected officials accountable. It is your stake in democracy. It is your ability to claim, ownership and self-governance.
In Albany, Elise Klein, WNY News Now.
Elise, thank you very much. Of course, stick with WNY News Now throughout election night tomorrow, as we'll be providing constant updates across our network. Well, now let's switch gears and get a first check of our weather forecast. Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter joining us today, and there's not going to be any weather problem come Election Day out there, Dakota.
No, there's no weather problems today, no weather problems tomorrow. We've got a great stretch of weather coming up over the next couple of days. This is the Mayville Skycam. You nothing but clear blue skies, in the words of George Strait, and we've got some more of that on the way, especially for tomorrow. So we topped out at 71 degrees yesterday. Did you enjoy the warmth we had over the weekend? Because I don't think we're going to get that warm again anytime soon. 48 is where we started the day, 75 and 19 are the records. So through the afternoon, just loads of sunshine for everybody. Y'all get sunshine. A breezy, not as mild though, 50. But look at these wind gusts of around 30 miles an hour. Again, just watch for that, especially if you're hanging the Thanksgiving or Christmas decorations already. Now, a big pattern flip arrives for the weekend. I will talk about where the temperature Headed with the Ultimate Satellite Solutions 7-Day that comes up later in the show. Justin?
All right, Dakota, thank you very much. We'll see you back in just a little bit as we continue the latest on a serious vehicle crash in Chautauqua County. We're breaking down the Buffalo Bills loss in New York City. Stay with us. WNY News Now. We'll be right back.
With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now.
EagleZip.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvan Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com sells and services all brands of desktops and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. All new computer sales include transferring your data from your old computer, plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com today and let us make computers easy for you.
Looking for a fair and honest auto mechanic? Look no further than DeWyas Auto Service. Located at 140 Main Street in Randolph, our family-owned business is ready for all of your automotive needs. From general service to more complex repairs, count on DeWyas Auto to keep you on the road. We not only keep your cars running smoothly, but also looking great with our expert detailing crew. Send us a message on Facebook or call us today at 716-358-2292 to set up an appointment. DeWyas Auto Service. Fair, honest, and the best prices guaranteed.
I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor.
Testicular cancer is the leading form of cancer in men aged 15 to 35.
1 in 250 men will be diagnosed with testicular cancer.
But 98% will survive if detected early.
As a survivor, I believe early detection is the key. Learn how to do a testicular self-exam and other important facts about testicular cancer at oneball4tc.com.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
One person was airlifted to a regional medical center following a morning crash in Chautauqua County. The accident happened on County Route 380 around 7:30 in the town of Ellery. The sheriff's office tells us 2 vehicles, a Ford Mustang and pickup truck, crashed head-on. Deputies said it appears the Mustang crossed the center line, striking the truck before crashing off the roadway and into a ditch. The driver of the Mustang, 28-year-old Matthew Lamphere, was airlifted to a regional medical center for serious injuries. Meanwhile, the driver of the pickup was treated and released at the scene after his airbags deployed. While an investigation continues, deputies say speed was likely a factor here. Lamphere was since ticketed for failure to keep right. A wanted Jamestown man was arrested after police said he allegedly assaulted an officer overnight. The Jamestown Police Department reports 35-year-old Sean Sabetsky was arrested in the area of West 3rd and Halleck Streets around 3 in the morning Monday. As officers attempted to place the man into custody on an active warrant, he allegedly became physically aggressive and struck a uniformed officer in the face with a closed fist. Following a brief struggle, officers placed Sabetsky into custody. On his person, officers allegedly recovered a quantity of methamphetamine and some cocaine. In addition to the warrant, the man now faces several charges, including attempted assault on a police officer. Well, the Buffalo Bills, they fell to the New York Jets on Sunday. Erie News Now's Isaac Petcash is recapping the game for us.
Big game for Josh Allen and company in the Buffalo Bills yesterday afternoon, facing the New York Jets in a divisional game. Jets with an onside kick to start the game. They don't get it, but Josh Allen can't make them pay to start the game. Picked off by Denzel Mims just 50 seconds in. Bills can't score any points. But next drive, Bills on a 0-0 tie. Allen capping a 14-play drive with his legs scampering in for the touchdown. He led the team with 86 rushing yards at 7-0 Buffalo. To the second quarter now. Bills up 7-3, and Allen loving what he does best with his legs. Churning up the gut, nearly untouched into the end zone for a 36-yard score. 14-3 on 2 rushing touchdowns for Allen. Just before the half, though, Michael Carter for the Jets answering on the read option, scampers into pay dirt, and it's a 14-10 game. Carter at 76 yards on the ground. Third quarter, a big play here. Allen back to pass and throws it right into the arms of the rookie, Sauce Gardner, the Cincinnati product, with a huge pick, and the Jets turn it into points. They make The Bills pay. Leads to this. Zach Wilson, the screen to the new recruit, James Robinson, fresh from Jacksonville. He gets the touchdown. Jets in front 17-14 after 3 quarters. To the fourth, it's a 17-17 tie with a minute 45 to go. Greg Zuerlein from 28 yards hits, and the Bills need a score. But with 33 seconds to go, 4th and 21, Allen needing a miracle. Goes right, scampers left, and laser beams one deep for Gabe Davis, but it's broken up at the last second, and the Bills fall to the Jets 20-17. They now just sit a half a game ahead of the Jets and the Dolphins in the AFC East.
The next phase of a sewer extension project on Chautauqua Lake has received a big boost in funding. Phase 2 of the West Side Sewer Extension Project was awarded $6 million in the Water Infrastructure Improvement Grant from New York State. In total, the sewer project is expected to cost around $24 million. Construction of the first phase of the project started back in 2021. It extends the district to Stowe. Phase 2 plans to take the project further north towards the towns of North Harmony and Chautauqua near Prendergast Creek. Well, coming up next, more election coverage as we take a look at the presidential race influences, and later a stir behind an I voted sticker here in New York. A look at the story there. But first, when we return, Dakota's joining us once again with a full look at our weather forecast and really the beautiful weather that's in store.
With coverage that matters. This is WNY News Now.
Slow down.
Slow down and move over.
Move over.
When you see signs,
Lights.
Vests.
please give us some room.
Slow down.
Slow down and move over. When you need help,
It's our job
To help you.
to save you.
despite the danger.
This danger is real. Do your part.
Please
Slow down. Slow down. And move over.
move over.
WNY News Now is covering stories that matter to you.
There are 2 silver linings here. One, that no injuries were reported, and 2, they were able to contain the fire from spreading further.
Western New York has a new congressional member representing them.
One of the things that made Betty White so unique was the fact that she connected generations of fans throughout the decades. Take a look at the display here.
WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
Walking from Jamestown to Orchard Park is a long trek, but when rallying for a good cause, anything is possible. Starting on November 11th, I'm walking over 60 miles to the Buffalo Bills Stadium, raising money for 2 great causes: Harrison's Playmakers and foster care in Chautauqua County. Learn more about my journey and to donate at ccsolutions716.com.
When severe weather breaks, one team has you covered, tracking the storms as they happen. Catch your First Defense forecast daily on WNY News Now.
Fast, accurate, and everyday. First Defense weather.
Welcome back, everybody. How about those high temperatures yesterday? 71 is where we topped out yesterday. 71, 70 in climbers. So it was another fantastic day, but I hope you enjoyed it because we're not going to see high temperatures in the 70s for at least a while down the road. It is breezy today, so the trash can window meter is back out. So if your trash pickup is tomorrow morning, the winds are going to start to subside as we go through the evening hours. But if you've already put your trash can out, you might find it tipped over as you head home from work, and you might find it tipped over just with wind gusts of around 30 miles an hour today. But look at this beautiful sunshine. You can see the sun peeking through on the HD News Now cam. 54 as of noon hour. It's cooler than it was yesterday, but we still got a stiff breeze west out of 14. Look at that wind gust at 18 and the dew point 27. The air is bone dry, so that's why we don't have much in the way of cloud cover today. Also, tomorrow morning we do have the lunar eclipse coming up. Tomorrow morning, the eclipse itself starts a little after 3 a.m., but the main show starts after 5 a.m., 5:16. That is the total lunar eclipse begins. Unfortunately, we have had to increase the cloud cover a little bit, but I do think there are going to be enough peaks in the cloud cover to be able to see this. So if you're up early tomorrow, try to get pictures of it, and of course send it in to us. We might show them on the air tomorrow. And the temperature outlook, big flip coming by the weekend into early next week. The 6 to 10 day temperature outlook favors much colder air across much of the continental 48. So we are looking at a much cooler trend heading into the weekend. Nothing going on the satellite and radar composite. That cold front that we had yesterday moved on through. But we are going to see a little bit more in the way of this as we go through the next couple of days. Wanted to give you a quick look at the tropics because we now have a sub-tropical storm, Nicole. It's not really a tropical storm. It's between a storm and a tropical storm. So it's subtropical out here in the Atlantic. And the forecast track from the Hurricane Center has this coming up into the Florida Peninsula, unfortunately, and it will likely strengthen into at least a Category 1 hurricane before weakening back into a tropical storm and then potentially making a ride up the East Coast. So just wanted to mention that for you. But here's the newest run of Future Scan. The time is moving, but the weather ain't changing. Look at this. Lots of sunshine through the afternoon. We're going to stay mainly clear through the evening hours. Tomorrow morning, this is around 5 a.m. Notice the clouds building in, so we could see partly to mostly cloudy skies. But again, we think we have enough window for the lunar eclipse. The clouds clear out for the afternoon, leading to a good Tuesday on hand. Now, the next 7 days, powered by Ultimate Satellite Solutions, so we're going to stay dry and mild through Friday. We're bringing a few rain showers, but look at that, Justin. The pattern flips. 43 on Saturday, 35 on Sunday with a few rain and snow showers.
Oh, yeah, I see the flake in there. Certainly, we knew it was coming, right? It is November after all, Dakota. Thank you. Well, let's get some headlines from around the nation, and we're going to have to wait until tonight to see if someone wins the largest record-high Powerball jackpot, which is now at $1.9 billion. Saturday's drawing for the record prize did not have a winner. The next drawing will take place tonight. Well, the world's biggest and most popular marathon has returned to full capacity in New York City. The more than 50,000 runners took part in New York City's Marathon Sunday. Last year, only 30,000 ran the 26.2-mile race, and the 2020 marathon was canceled because of the pandemic. The top men's and women's finishers were Keelan Evans and Sharon Lodi. If the Shebets name, Kieran Evan Shebets, sounds familiar, it's because he won the Boston Marathon earlier this year in April. His winning time was 2 hours, 8 minutes, and 41 seconds. The Swiss Silver Bullet, Switzerland's Michael Hug, won New York City's marathon in the men's wheelchair division. The winner on the women's side was American Susanna Scanori, a first-time winner. Well, Election Day is tomorrow, and control of both chambers of Congress is at stake. That's in addition to dozens of governor's races and other state-level contests that will set the table for the 2024 presidential campaigns. Karen Kefa is taking a look at top issues voters and candidates are making in their closing arguments.
President Joe Biden isn't on the ballot, but for most Americans, it's their first chance to weigh in on his party and policies.
This election isn't a referendum, it's a choice. It's a choice between two fundamentally different visions of America.
Among states taking center stage in the battle for the U.S. Senate, tight races in 4 that President Biden flipped in the 2020 presidential election. Arizona, Wisconsin, Georgia, and Pennsylvania, where Biden and former President Barack Obama stumped Saturday.
Democracy itself is on the ballot. The stakes are high.
And former President Donald Trump also rallied.
This election is your chance to make your voice heard.
Underscoring how 2022 may foreshadow the 2024 presidential contest. Polls indicate most voters are looking at the economy right now as they cast ballots. Democrats touted Friday's October jobs report and unemployment still near a half-century low as a sign their economic policies are working, while Republicans point to the highest inflation in 40 years.
The inflation crushing our pocketbooks, can't fill up our tank, can't fill up our grocery cart.
Abortion is a human right.
Democrats hope the Supreme Court's decision to overturn Roe v. Wade in June will motivate voters, especially women, while Republicans have accused Democrats of being weak on crime, especially in major cities. Both parties eager to drive turnout in their favor. On Capitol Hill, I'm Karen Kafa.
Next, we explain why New York is handing out unconventional I voted stickers this year.
With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now. WNY News Now is covering stories that matter to you.
This year's theme, Fire Won't Wait, Plan Your Escape, focuses on the importance of knowing your way out of a home or business in the event that a fire were to break out.
The Hello Summer Festival in downtown Jamestown, and as you mentioned, the whole goal of this is to connect Jamestown's kids with things to do over the summer.
WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
Right here, baby. Look. Uma.
Noah. Something more than a birthday is happening here. Once you can see it, you can help. The sooner you recognize the signs of autism, the sooner you can make a lifetime of difference for your child. Start by answering a few simple questions at screenforautism.org.
Walking from Jamestown to Orchard Park is a long trek, but when rallying for a good cause, anything is possible. I'm Patrick Smeraldo, and I need your help to get there. Starting on November 11th, I'm walking over 60 miles to the Buffalo Bills Stadium, raising money for two great causes: Harrison's Playmakers and foster care in Chautauqua County. Harrison's Playmakers is a non-profit launched by former Buffalo Bills defensive tackle Harrison Phillips to connect kids with disabilities in sports. Furthermore, donations for this 3-day hike will also benefit CASA of Chautauqua County and the Stone family, who are assisting local foster care children during National Adoption Month. Learn more about my journey and to donate at ccsolutions716.com.
Well, you're about to see a lot of I voted stickers around as the midterm elections are now just one day away. But a sticker poll workers are handing out in Osler County, New York doesn't look like ones you've seen recently. Abby Carnival has the story.
Here it is. The Ulster County Board of Elections is sitting on a stash of voting gold. This unconventional I voted sticker. Ashley Dittis is the Ulster County Board of Elections Democratic Commissioner.
So they were all in the back of my car, and I said to the printer, I said, you have no idea how many people want this.
What will culminate in the fall began over the summer. The county BOE held a sticker contest to update the polling place mementos. That's when 14-year-old Hudson Rowan decided to get creative. He entered the Board of Elections sticker contest with a design that he feels resembles the current political landscape.
It was the first submission that we got, so I was extremely excited to open the email. I opened it, I saw it, I printed it out so I could walk it around to every desk and show everybody that works here.
It was a no-brainer for the Board of Elections. The design netted more than 200,000 votes in the contest, along with some national recognition.
We're telling the election inspectors, one per person. You have to make sure that we control the sticker distribution so that we don't run out and everybody will have their chance to have it.
Hold on to it. As it turns out, for some, getting out the vote can come down to getting a sticker.
They're apparently a lot more important than I ever knew, because people do get very upset if you run out or if you don't have any. There was one year we had none, and I think literally 100+ people came up and asked how come they can't get a sticker.
Yeah, and get this, 90,000 people are expected to vote in the midterms in Osler County alone. Poll workers there stocking up. They have 100,000 stickers waiting for them, and it is a big deal, right? You gotta I think you either take a sticker or you don't. There's really like nobody. I think
it's like the Walmart Happy Face stickers. You remember those when we were growing up?
I do, yeah. And I early voted over the weekend, and I touted my voting sticker. I went out to lunch. I, put something on Facebook, stuff like that. And
right.
I think it depends on where you're at in the voting process, whether or not you want the world to know about it. But for a sticker like that, I mean, come on, how could you not?
Well,
it's such an interesting sticker.
Voting is a right you have in this country, so why not show it?
Amen. A right and a liberties. That is it for us today. We'll leave you with this shot over outside of our studios in downtown Jamestown. You see the sun is shining. We're back here tomorrow live at noon.
WNY News Now is covering stories that matter.